Sunday, June 17th, 1877. Well, guess what? We didn't go to church. I couldn't believe it. I don't remember ever skipping church unless we were very ill or the weather made the roads too hard to travel. My first clue that something was amiss was when I saw Mama in the kitchen this morning. She was having a quiet conversation with Papa. The table wasn't set, and neither Papa nor Mama had on their Sunday church clothes. I knew better than to eavesdrop, so I just hurried out to our little barn. Johnny was there milking our cow. He said that we weren't going to church today. I asked him why, and he just said that Papa told him they were staying home today and didn't give an explanation. I asked Johnny if he had asked them why, and he said he hadn't asked. Honestly, boys, but I think I figured out why all on my own. I think that my parents didn't like last Sunday's sermon, and they were worried we would get a repeat today with the Reverend still being sick. Of course, I didn't mind at all not going because I felt the same way, but I did miss the trip there and back. It was nice being home for a whole day as a family. We read our Bibles. Mama and I shared hers, and Papa and Johnny shared Papa's. We had never done that before, even on days when we've missed church in the past. We had some good discussions about the things we were reading. I got that peaceful feeling again, as I have been thinking about the feeling I had after the sermon last week and the feeling I get when I read the Bible. I've been wondering, does God want us to obey Him because we are afraid of Him or because we love Him? After dinner, we were allowed to go outside and play. I sure wish I had a dog to play with, and so does Johnny. That is one thing that we agree on. We have asked before, and Papa always says that we can't afford to feed an animal who doesn't pull his weight around here. He explains how the horses pull the plow and the wagon, and how the cow gives us milk, and even how the barn cats kill the mice that would get into the horses' feed. I told him that a dog would be a watchdog, but Papa doesn't think that is an important enough reason to have a dog. So I'm afraid Johnny's and my dream of having a dog may never come true. This afternoon, I saw Papa hitch up the wagon and drive off towards town, and I wondered where he was going. He told us tonight at supper that Reverend Parsons is so sick that the doctor doesn't think he will make it through the night. Poor Victoria. Monday, June 18th, 1877. When I didn't see Victoria at school today, I had a bad feeling. Sure enough, Miss Eden announced to us that Reverend Parsons had passed away during the night. I knew I had to see Victoria as soon as I could. When school was dismissed that day, I raced to her house. I knew my parents wouldn't mind. There were lots of people there bringing dishes and talking to Mrs. Parsons. I didn't see Victoria in the crowd, but I knew where to find her. She has a creek behind her house where we like to play. So I went there, and sure enough, there she sat with her head down on her knees. At first I didn't know what to do or say. Finally I went and sat beside her and didn't say a word. I just put my arm around her and let her lean on me. Oh, how I feel for her. I don't know what I would do if my papa died. Now it's just her and her mama. I wonder how long they will be allowed to live in the parsonage. What will Mrs. Parsons do to earn money to take care of them? Too many unanswered questions. Today I just wanted to try to comfort Victoria. She cried and cried on my shoulder. Neither of us ever said a word, and I think we must have sat there at the river's edge for an hour or more. Victoria finally stood, and I walked back with her to her house. I think my best friend is a very strong person. Friday, June 22nd, 1877. This morning, when I went to gather the eggs, there were feathers everywhere, like there had been a fight in the hen house, and there were no eggs. They were all gone. I bolted toward the house to find Papa. He just shook his head when he saw the mess. He thinks that maybe a fox or coyote has been getting in there at night. I am surprised we haven't heard any commotion in the middle of the night. Papa saw prints around the hen house that looked like a dog, so it could be a wild dog, too, he said. Johnny made the point at breakfast that if we had a dog, it wouldn't let another dog come into his yard and steal eggs. Johnny wants a dog so badly. I'm glad he said something, because that may help change Mama and Papa's minds. Oh, how I would love to have a dog. I would take such good care of it. I've always dreamed of having a dog sleep with me on my bed, but I guess if it was to be a watchdog, it would have to sleep outside. I would settle for that if it meant we could have a dog. Victoria was back at school yesterday. The funeral was on Tuesday, and school was out for the day, so that everyone could attend the service. I've heard Papa say that Mrs. Parsons and Victoria will be allowed to live in the parsonage rent-free until a new minister can be found. That will give them time to figure out what they are going to do. Mrs. Parsons' family is from New York, and Victoria told me they may have to move and live with her grandparents there. Why do things have to change? I'm going to miss her so much.